Moldgate. Fucking Moldgate. Did I ever thought, as an esports journalist, I would ever be talking about the best player in the world versus a hotel? Did I ever think that was going to happen? I didn't. Spoiler, it's a rhetorical question. Never thought this was even a possibility. But lo and behold, it's esports. Everyone's juvenile. Let's start at the beginning. So, there's an event running. It's ESL. It's ESL Pro League. It's been dog shit, by the way. Just for the purposes of this video, because who even knows when it's coming out? Yes, I'm talking to the YouTubers and not the Twitchers again. Twitchers don't mind, you know, they're just like chickens. You just put their head under the wing, they go to sleep for a bit. So this is just us talking. They know. You missed all the other stuff that I was talking about. So, the ESL event's been shit. It's been monumentally shit. It's been embarrassing, an embarrassment, even by ESL's very low standards. Where to begin? They haven't been able to sync up audio properly. That's an issue. Like when they've been doing the remote broadcast, the audio's slightly out, and they've been working on that, and that happened at the start of the tournament. Wrong player cams all the time, pulling away from saves and missing kills at the end of a round all the time. Weird decisions. Moses got hot mic'd today. I had to tell him that. I had to message Moses and say, whatever you do, don't start talking like Anders. You're hot mic'd. They aren't letting the death segment do what a death segment should be doing. There were tech problems the other day, which I've seen them come out and say, they issued a statement today saying, yeah, but it's a Steam exploit, and so therefore it's not our fault. That vulnerability, by the way, was being talked about publicly by pretty prominent CSGO. Like, if ESL were proactive, that wouldn't have happened. But instead, they're not proactive. They're not proactive because they can't even get the fucking basics right. But this ESL Pro League's been especially bad. And now, everything around it in the periphery as well. So, I thought something was up. I was talking to some of my journalist friends, and ESL were denying press passes, saying there's no room. And I was like, bit weird. Don't know what's going on with ESL. Why would that be a thing? And I'm starting to realise why, because I just don't think they wanted any reporters around for what they knew was going to be an event. And here's the worst part. These people that, despite being $1 billion company, are bumbling and fumbling around like fucking amateurs. They've got the RMR and the next major. And let me tell you, this is the standard they're serving up in a country where they have studios, work there many times, do all their Pro League events there, been working there for years. If you've ever worked in the business or done events, you know the difference between a stadium event and a studio event. And the problems with studio events are just tenfold. Sorry, with the stadium event. You know, just loads. You can't even imagine live crowd stuff to factor in. They're going to have to sync up an English broadcast remotely. There's, you know, rain, damp, cables everywhere, cameras everywhere, acoustics for the ambient crowd noise. Like, man, I can't imagine we're going to have a good outcome for either of these tournaments. And honestly, I'm watching the CSL Pro League, and I'm kind of thinking, actually, yeah, fuck it, let it burn down. I'm sick of ESL. Pig sick of ESL having 80% of the calendar and having to rely on freelance talent, my friends, to bail them out of the shit time and time again, and then they can't even pay my friends on time. I'm fucking bored of it. I'm fucking so bored of the bullshit that we go through. And the crowd yum it up. They come into the fucking Reddit threads afterwards, don't they? And go, haha, looking for feedback. Here's some feedback. Learn. Like, if you were a fucking child, you know what I mean? You would have figured out some of this shit by now. So what's your excuse? You're a company that's meant to be fucking doing this for, you know, to make money. You're meant to be serving up a product. Now, if there's limitations, manage our expectations. But you know what? Our expectations are pretty fucking low. And every time we see the Blast who do it right on a fraction of your fucking budget, you should be ashamed. You should be ashamed of what ESL's serving up. So anyway, when I saw this story, I was kind of like, the nightmare that's happening on the server and all that other stuff is starting to bleed out now into the events. They can't even look after the players. You know, there was a player complaining about some, like, mad aggressive taxi driver, like, tried to rob them and broke their phone. It might have been, was it another Astralis player? Don't know. But anyway, oh, Fesso, yeah. Like, by the way, Why is anyone using cabs? What's going on? You know, where's the cars? Where's the... We did that at E-League, that was 2016. What the fuck's going on? Don't tell me Turner has greater resources than fucking the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I won't believe you, frankly. Anyway, ignore that, right? Just shelve it all. It's just something that was bleeding out. So I saw fucking Simple, right? My bro Simple, right? The GOAT. Did a tweet, didn't he? He said the hotel was shit and basically put a fucking picture up. And this is event, maybe aircon, because it's hot and humid in Malta. Although it's one of the few places I've never been, actually. Henry went there and said, you can't come, and that was that. I had to respect it. He said, it's just me and the mushrooms now, lad. All right, fine. But anyway, you can see here, this is what they call mildew. Okay, and mildew is a type of like mold that you get where there's damp, right? And it tends to congregate around windows, right? Because of condensation, if it's not properly aired out, and vents and things like this, air conditioning units, you know, wherever the collision of, you know, heat and cold, warm to cold conversion occurs, and you get damp, and also just in humid environments. And generally, it's easy to deal with, right? Just give it a wipe, special bit of the old bleachy, and it kills it stone dead. It takes a while for it to form on a surface. You have to not be wiping and not be cleaning. So just saying, right? You know, for people who are moving into houses, you know what I mean? It's easily dealt with. But if you ever look at a house and it's all, you know, the black speckles of mildew all over the walls, and it's really, really thick, it's not been cleaned or looked after in some time. You probably got damp rot, you probably got problems. Just don't live in that house, or you're going to get something. You're going to get spores in your lungs or other horrible shit. Just get out. Anyway, I never complained about this. I get mad because they had 2 rooms yesterday, and they told me I needed to check out from one room at 11 AM. When I wake up today, they tell me to move to the same room from yesterday and check out from this one. You can see people reacting to it. Skull emojis. That usually means I'm dead, by the way. That's Zoomer talk. And, you know, look, that's an unacceptable hotel room, innit? But in a move I just never saw coming, ever. Local news outlet, Loving Malta. This world, right? Maltese hotel says CS Gamer spent 3 weeks refusing for his room to be cleaned. A Maltese hotel has hit back at a professional gamer who complained about mold and insects in his room. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. I think in the post above, he said there were ants in the room, right? There were ants. This is unrelated. Richard, you waffling again. I've come to your YouTube channel to watch a 10-minute video where you just read headlines, like all my other favourite influencers. This is the best part. This is where I tell stories. I didn't know about the food and the ants thing, because where I lived, there were never any ants. You know, when I lived in Wales, never saw any ants. Air was too polluted, probably. Lived in the northeast, no ants. Air was too polluted, probably. I didn't know about it. Didn't know that actually if you leave food out, you do get ants sometimes. Or ants might just like where you live and move in. Didn't know about that. One time in Atlanta, I had an open like door into my garden. Like double doors used to open up into my little like balcony garden place where I lived. In Atlanta was hot as fuck, hot and humid as fuck, right? And I used to get wrecked all the time when I wasn't working E-League. Super stressful job. It's why I ended up like massively fat. Like not like now where I'm just fat, but like E-League fat, American fat. Used to eat, you know, and drink and then like black out. And one time I blacked out on the floor and I've been eating a mac and cheese, a delicious mac and cheese from Whole Foods for a family of 4. Just and I was on the floor and I was drunk and a bottle of vodka or whatever, and I fell asleep with the mac and cheese in my hand and blacked out. And when I woke up, I had 1 million ants on my arm. My arm was just thick with ants, different kinds of ants. There were 2 tribes of ants having a fight over my mac and cheese on my arm. I had bites on my arm. They were like, hang on, is he made of mac and cheese? Could have been, probably was during E-League. Honestly, if you'd looked at my blood type, mac and cheese might have been a viable option. And that was how I found out, like, you can't leave food out for a second, or you're getting motherfucking ants. You're getting motherfucking ants all over your shit. Like, don't ever fall asleep with food in your hand with the door open in Atlanta, or you are ants. I'm like that motherfucker from Rick and Morty, million ants. That's what I was. I was him. It wasn't pleasant. But the bites are horrible as well. They just stick around for ages, and just when you think they go, you get warm again and they come back. Don't fuck around with ants, is all I'm saying. So anyway, he had ants in the room. And that is an unpleasant experience, right? A Maltese hotel has hit back at a professional gamer who complained about mold and insects in his room, saying he failed to mention he spent 3 weeks in the hotel eating, drinking, and ordering takeout, while also refusing for his room to be cleaned. Yesterday, when we learned about the mold in the room through his social media post, and you'll notice, front and centre, they've made it abundantly clear, we did clean off the mold. They're so proud of that. We cleaned off the mold. Yesterday, when we learned about the mold in the room through his social media post, we rectified the problem within 15 minutes. Hotel management told Lovin Malta. The well-known hotel said Simple's tweets were misleading and provided no context. They sound like fact-checkers for MSNBC, don't they? They should. Actually, when Joe Biden said there was no inflation, that was lacking context. Anyway, it goes on. Hotel management said Simple checked into the hotel on 19th of August and spent 21 days with a do not disturb sign hanging on his doorknob. It got to the point where the hotel was leaving linens outside of his door and sent him a letter asking, please allow them to clean his room. To this, he not only refused, but went to tell staff not to enter his room under any circumstances. According to the management, prior to Simple's arrival, there was no mold nor insects in the room. Big selling feature. Big selling feature. We want to make it clear at our hotel, there were no insects or mold prior to him entering the room. 5 stars. Online, Simple said he had a problem with his room situation, explaining he was mad about the fact that he had an issue with his 2 rooms. And then they read the tweet there. The hotel explained that Simple had 2 rooms, one for gaming and one for living, but the hotel got overbooked with other ESL competitors. Reading between the lines here. So they asked him to vacate that room. That is when he posted the tweet and images to social media. And then it said, at the end, what do you make of this messy situation? What a look for esports. Now, by the way, Simple couldn't have possibly known that Lovin Malta was going to write a fucking article about a tweet saying, have you seen this mold up here, like? Now, it sounds to me, yeah, I'd be pissed off too if I had a practice room, which, by the way, also, just so you guys know, all the top players now want a separate room for practice, so they don't have to stay in the same room. It's like a little area, you know. They want a space they can play and a space they can hang out and chill out. And you know, players get that now. ESL do that for them. That was something the CSPPA fought for way back in the day. That was something players used to fight for before the CSPPA was a thing. Most people agreed to it, but obviously the hotel has said, "Nah, you can't have it." Now, whether or not that's true, whether or not ESL are fucked up there by not accounting for that. And also as well, it's worth noting that when I go to events, I've done 2 days with a do not disturb sign on, because when you're prioritising sleep, you know what? Maybe I don't need the clean sheets today. Maybe you don't need to come in and see how I destroyed the toilet at 4 AM because I was eating mussels all day down at the beach. Maybe you don't need to see that. Maybe I'm going to get, like, you know, I've got a choice. Fall asleep now instantly and get 4 hours sleep, but that 4 hours is going to bleed into the 9 AM call. Housekeeping! No fucking needs that, right? No fucking needs that on 4 hours. So you do it sometimes. You do it. You go a day, 2, maybe 3. Eventually, what you do is you either call down and say, look, I know it's a bit mad, but like, can someone send me up some clean sheets or whatever the fuck? Or can someone come in? Or you just have to discipline yourself and take it on the chin. Because shit does start to mount up. They don't give you bins. They don't give you this. They don't give you that. There's takeaway packages everywhere. It's happened to me, right? It's happened to everyone who's worked in an esports event. Anyone who's had the unpleasantness to live in a hotel for a while. Now, 21 days, right? 21 days would be insane. I'm just saying that. 21 days would be absolutely fucking mental, okay? The room you would end up with, it would just be, like, berserk Like, it would just be so bad, especially in like a hot and humid area like Malta. So I just cannot believe their version is true. I cannot believe the hotel in this instance. I mean, I know gamers are fucking mental. Gamers are fucked up. Also, I talked to a couple of people about this when I was doing the rounds on the other story. I think what Simple had said was, don't go into the gaming room under any circumstances. Not the living room, the gaming room. Because he didn't want people to fuck with his settings, didn't want people to get near the computer, didn't want anything to get took. That's reasonable. That's a reasonable request. So he did a reply, didn't he? In Moldgate. Oh, it's got legs, this. Richard, you're talking about a gamer versus Mold. I know, isn't esports great, guys? Do you understand why I don't want to do this anymore? And he said, lol, dirty hotel equals dirty lies. I didn't expect I would write this about gloomy hotel. 1, the room was cleaned when I returned to Malta on the 10th of September and the mould was always there. 2, I have never scattered food in my room. I'm not that dirty. And again, look, I just cannot believe. CSGO is one of, right, as we've established, there's bar fights and it's one of the coolest esports. Most of the people who do this are socialised on some level. Not all of them. There's some people who really need to work on that shit. There's definitely some dirty bastards, some smelly people, you know, for real. But at the end of the day, in general, nobody is rolling around in their own filth in CSGO. There's no way. The only thing I did was leave a used package outside the door, meaning a takeaway thing, so it wouldn't stink, so they could pick it up and throw it away. I feel everyone does this in a hotel. That's fucking logical. And by the way, also, when they said he'd been ordering food, drink, and takeaways, ooh, in a hotel. Can I eat in the hotel? Can I have an Uber Eats delivered to the hotel? Well, we're fucking partying now. Am I in the Ritz? Am I in the Ritz-Carlton? Am I in the Four Seasons? You know, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, obviously I'm doing that. It's a fucking hotel. Of course I'm eating in the room. It's called fucking room service. What a concept. Anyway. Also, in addition to this room, I specifically rented another room in this bloody hotel. I like how we channeled Red Eye for a moment there. Gone, but not forgotten. And one more room in another hotel. So basically, I lived in 3 different rooms in the last 2 weeks. Tomorrow, all your lies will come out. If this upset you so much, then you should finally understand that not everyone will be silent about your shady actions. He can probably document all of his stuff, right? Like, you know, maybe took some pictures, maybe, you know, so, yeah, you gotta edge your bet. I'll also just point out, Rops also said, this hotel sucks. Now, Rops, I hate to break it to you kids, he's a mild-mannered, nice guy. Wouldn't embroil himself in drama for no reason. Remember, the only drama Rops has ever been in is the one where everyone was bullying him and accusing him of cheating. And what did he do? He went to the Faceit headquarters, battered everyone and said, please, am I okay now, Mr. Bardolph, sir? May I play in your league? And he went, absolutely, Rops. You have proven yourself to be mustard in the eyes of CSGO. That's the only drama he's ever been in. Why would Rops say that? So again, I'm leaning with the players in this one. Anyway, so ESL, because their fucking ESL in this event has been dog shit. They were scrambling. This is like such a minor thing. The hotel probably does suck, right? Sometimes, though, when you go to certain parts of the world, you know, hotels aren't great. That's just how it goes. But you're having, you know, you're out there competing, you're having a ton. You make the best of a bad situation. And I want to remind everybody, you know, what was that fucking one, that never even finished? The one in, I think it was in Croatia. Gamers Ject or something like that, anyway. Oh, Game in Paradise. Gamers Ject was another one. Everyone just went and fucking got pissed and everyone got drunk, you know what I mean? You just make the most of it. You just deal with it. But anyway, ESL scrambling. Can't have this. Can't have the public perceptions that we're incompetent. Can't get people nice hotels. Insisted on it being in Malta. P.S. Same shit when the RMR comes rolling around. The flying DJ flew to the rescue, swooping in. Had to make sure everybody on Reddit knew what the lay of the land was, right? Simple got a different room when he notified our staff of the issue, which he did not do before his tweet. We have had, in other words, how dare he go on social media? We have had a fairly active dialogue with the teams and players since the start of EPL, working out solutions solutions to various topics that were raised, so we had an active communication channel for those topics set up. We are still investigating, but the hotel is high standard, and none of the 24 EPL teams has so far mentioned mould issues in any way. This, by the way, guys, if you want to know how far ESL have fucking fallen, that is Face It London talk. What do you mean, Richard? That is there are now unlimited eggs. That's what that is. Oh, no one's complained about mould. Got 'em. Only Simple. Fuck off. Face It talk. That's what that is. Since Simple has lived in that hotel since their group stage matches, we are working with the hotel to identify how that specific room developed mould issues. Is ESL a real company? And is he a real man? That's like one of them fucking generated replies where you're like talking to your bank and you think it's real. It's like, hey, instead of calling our contact center, which is really overloaded right now with complaints because we suck, why don't you talk to this bot, this AI? It's like that. And then Alex Inglot is one of the good ones at ESL. You know, him and Apollo. These good people. Don't take it personal. This is Alexander Inglot, who is the commissioner at the ESL Pro League. Update. He's issuing an update. Guys, I know you've been super worried about this mould issue, right, guys? So don't worry. Flying DJ's issued a statement, but here's an update on the mould issue. Simple versus the mould. Update on Simple situation with the EPL host hotel. We sat down and talked with the hotel to clear the air. He outlined his views on the events and media misrepresentation. The hotel was appreciative. We all ended up in a respectful place. Thanks to both sides for resolving the issue. ESL are like acting like marriage counsellors between players and hotels at their events. And you wonder, by the way, why their broadcast just sucks dick. Because this is the use of their time, is it? This is the type of stuff they have to get involved in. There's been a hard-hitting report in Loving Malta. What are we getting? Will we ever recover? And I just love it, because Simple just goes, resolved. Resolved. Right, to get my Judge Judy on for a moment, I just probably think the hotel is a bit shit. And I probably think they haven't been as diligent as they could have been with the cleaning. And maybe, yes, there was some crossed wires, but what is this fast? Why is this an international incident? Why is the commissioner of the league having to sit down with a hotel manager and Simple and go, okay, I'm hearing a lot of anger here. Okay, I'm hearing a lot of anger. But if you look at it another way, Simple, the hotel did clean up the mold once it was brought to their attention. And to you, the hotel managers, you know, if we can avoid mold in the future, I think Simple would really appreciate hearing that. Meanwhile, you can't even show me all the kills in a fucking round. Like, this is a joke. It's a sick joke.